Today is Tuesday, February 13th, and you are watching SBA Today. I am Paul Long, Assistant Vice President of SBA Lending with Gisa Credit Union in Washington State, and I am joined by my Valentine.
Aw, I'm Tonya Mazurek, Colorado's SBA Manager and Producing Loan Officer for Midwest Regional Bank.
Well,
Happy Valentine's almost, right?
Yeah, right. That's why I was
Hey.
going with the red.
Awesome. Well, you can tell I must not have a Valentine because apparently I
Oh,
spaced the whole Valentine thing. Dadgummit.
well, hey, we can just turn this into a dating show if you'd like.
Yeah, let's not. Oh, goodness.
We got
now I'm
SBA
red.
Tinder here, guys.
I brought my
Okay,
red
anyway.
now, Paul.
Now you're red. Perfect.
Oh, gosh.
Well, hey, I want to share some data that came out this week. This one I thought was absolutely fascinating, and this is from a friend, Ryan Hemert with Washington Business Brokers. And what I thought was really interesting about this is obviously experienced sellers and buyers, recognize that there's, in a business acquisition situation, there's representations and warranties in a purchase and sale agreement, right? And so what's really interesting on this is what types of breaches were there in those R&W, the representations and warranties claims. 42% were financial statement related, which is just even more important why you should have a good bookkeeper, a good CPA, and really be able to know your numbers. How do you see your numbers? How often do you get your numbers? Yeah, you may throw your stuff over at the bookkeeper, but do you only get your report 3 months after it's done? I mean, or do you get it?
Right.
There's so much when it comes to financials. I'm not surprised that that's the number one.
You know what's funny with that though, too, Paul, that you can take that a different way as well. Like I know I had a customer one time that they got bamboozled basically by the seller. And they had kind of doctored financial. So it's similar. I mean, it's not the same thing, but keeping an eye on those financial statements, whether coming into it or it's already yours or you're buying into one, those are pretty darn important.
They absolutely are. They absolutely are. So thank you, Ryan, for sharing that. That was very interesting on there. Well, let's go into our next one here for our friends at Guidant. They came up with some small business trends. Take it away, Tonya, on this one. A lot of fascinating information on this.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I'm pretty excited because I'm a Gen Xer and it looks like 47% are the Gen Xers that are opening and starting and whatnot these businesses. So I think that's great. Now, the happiness level, what exactly does that mean?
Right? How do you?
I'm sitting there going, I don't know. Well, I feel like I'm happy, right? But who knows? Who knows? It could just be, whether it be the type of business, the reason they're getting into it. And I wonder if that's partially it. Because then when you go into the motivation there, you see the different reasons. And the biggest one is ready to be your own boss. Well,
not surprised.
Yeah. Many of us Gen Xers, I gotta say, we've kind of worked for somebody for a minute, so that doesn't surprise me. Not to mention, I think you get more skills as time goes on, and then you're ready to utilize them in a different and new way. But the other thing is look at both the ethnicity. 79% white, 6% black, 5 Hispanic, Asian, and other. I'd love to see those numbers come more even. I truly would. I would love to see that. And then the gender. Now I got a lot around this gender thing.
Oh boy, brace yourself.
I'm female, right? So come on, women, let's do this. 74% of the new owners in business and whatnot are males. Now, I just had something happen this morning, so I want to throw this in here. One of my good friends I like to follow, who is a recruiter out there, is Bridget Hyacinth. She posted something this morning about a prospect that she had that she put in front of a company. The company loved this gal. It was a lady, loved the gal, loved her experience, loved everything about it. However, the lady had a 5-year gap. Now, she was very honest about what that gap was. She had children. She wanted to stay home with them, for those 5 years to, get things moving forward, and then came back into the workforce. So they go back to Bridget and they do not hire this gal because of the gap in her resume. Now, I got to tell you, and Paul, you speak up on this too. In hiring, resumes, I don't know, me and resumes, I think don't get along. I don't know that I buy the vast majority of it. I think many people can sit there and exaggerate, whether it be their production or their usefulness with their company or whatever it is. There's all kinds of things that can go on with resumes. So if somebody came and sat in front of me, they have a 5-year gap, they're not trying to explain it away, and they're saying why, and they've got the experience and the drive, because I guarantee you this gal's got the drive. One of the hardest things I ever did was stay home for different periods with my kids. I did it 3 times, after my boys, after my daughter, and then once with a personal thing that went on at home. And I came back more ready to work, with higher drive, and ready to really kill it. So I bet you this gal's going to kill it wherever she does land. But I just think that's unfair. I think we need to be a little bit more clear or favorable on age gaps, or not age gaps, but gaps in resumes if they're honest about them.
Well, and I think that's the biggest thing. I do a lot of hiring as well. And just be honest. Okay, fine. You want to take 2 years to travel around the world. Good for you. Like, I wish I could do that. I probably wouldn't hire you just because I'm mad, because I'm jealous, right? But
jealousy factor, no.
Right. But I completely agree, especially, if you're stay at home raising kids, et cetera, that is a hard challenge. And that is a job that unfortunately you're not paid for and should be.
You don't get the accolades, you don't get any of that. But then to put it towards this gender thing, I think that sometimes stands in the way with women starting businesses. I know when I was married, like even things like taking a trip, it was so much easier for my ex to take a trip because I had the kids already handled. I had everything smoothly done. And I don't know, this isn't every relationship, but this was mine. So for me to actually take a trip, which I was always told to do, was a challenge, because I had to figure out the dog, I had to figure out the kids, I had to figure out the schedules. I mean, I don't know that that's it, but I'll bet you it has something to play with some of the discrepancy there.
I was definitely shocked to see 26%. I mean, like, I knew that males would be higher, but I didn't think females would be that low. I was really kind of taken back from that stat. So that very interesting. Very
Here
interesting.
we come. Let's go, ladies.
That's right. Our next one, this was such a great one. Thank you so much again, Guidance Financial. This was
wild.
Right. Of course, the banker in me, I was looking over at cost to start. I'm like, ooh, 50 to 175 to start a business. Okay. Those are loan requests that I could possibly get behind with a really good story. Same here for 250 to 500. If you got more than $1 million to start a business, woo! I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think I would do that. I wouldn't finance that, I don't think, nor would I probably want to do that myself.
More than $1 million? Or no?
I mean, it's got to be a good reason. It better be. Good for you.
Small business, over $1 million, absolutely.
Well, there you go. Good. Top states I thought was really interesting. Texas, 10% for business. Florida, 9%, because, we need more SBA lenders in Florida, because I just don't think we have a concentration there at all. Sorry, guys. I love you.
Florida, Raider. Hello.
Right. And I was actually kind of shocked with California, just because of the rules and regulations and everything. I was actually kind of surprised that was on there. What surprising?
What I'm shocked with, Paul, is Texas. Because think about it, Texas is a homestead state. So
that's true.
Getting funding and whatnot, and then the collateral piece, and many banks are just challenged with that. So that kind of actually surprised me.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Any other stats on here that were kind of stood out to you?
Well, they all stand out to me. The franchise The franchise
Yes.
did. That's not surprising. I'm getting a ton of like franchise brokers reaching out to me. Oh, you'd be a great franchise owner. I don't know. I'm really good at taking on other people's risk. Not sure,
Huh. That's
but
right.
yeah.
Let's go down to our next one here. Economic impact. Oh man, that one right
Big.
there makes me happy.
Ugh.
I mean, I'd like to see it higher, but 65%. I mean, would you gamble against a 65% odd? That's the
Yes,
question. I sure would as well. Yep.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I see
The
the 77% that say they think that they're going to survive. That makes me very happy.
I would agree with that as well.
That number was not, couldn't have been that over the course of the last few years.
Yeah, could you imagine asking this question during COVID times?
No.
That would have
Yes.
been actually really fun to put them side by side, COVID and today.
Mhm. Yeah.
Confidence in small business, today's economy. This is not a political show, but
Mhm.
that's not a good number there.
Yeah.
So
I
we
would
will.
think I'm probably right there with them. So if I were in that, I would
Yeah,
probably be
right.
right there with them,
So
but
again, thanks so much, Guidance Financial, for letting us share that. That's awesome. They are definitely great with the Rob's program.
absolutely.
And yeah, other than that, it's been kind of a slow week in SBA. Nothing really big news coming out. I think everyone's still licking their wounds from the new SOP and everything and trying to get everything, but I'm sure there's always something that's cooking in
Hey, did you go
SBA.
take the training from Shatterbox?
I did.
Yay.
Wonderful job.
Yeah.
Wonderful job.
I just love when anybody is going to help, especially our new lenders out there. SOP is a challenge, man. Even for us that have been in this a while, right? That dig in deep, it's a
Yep.
challenge. There's times when that thing throws me and I'm like, I don't get it. What's it saying? I don't get it. So these poor new lenders that get into this, man, and they need to know what's going on. I love that somebody's putting out something a little more easy to, to follow. So
Yep.
I really enjoyed it.
Wonderful
Yeah.
job. Wonderful
Yeah.
job.
Well, I don't know about you, but hey, guys,
That's a
we
wrap.
really appreciate you showing up again,
That's
and
right.
we hope we gave you some good information today. These slides, it's really interesting what's going on out there. So we really like getting this information. If you've got any to share with us, let us know
Yeah.
because we'd love to get it out there. But otherwise, we will see you next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
See you later.
Bye.